Those
Right.
clamps have the armor locked in place. Maybe there's a way to power up the mechanism, release the clamps.
Here is the thing. Ultra Weave armor. So I did say that what if Elizabeth... I wanna say Elizabeth, but I think her name does not have an H on it. I think, yeah.
This'll help.
I think Elizabeth Sobek maybe came here as like when she said that she was gonna go home because she was, you know, tired or exhausted from outside. And then she actually returned to this place, put the armor in place and, you know, died somewhere while growing old in one of these like laboratories or something. Or maybe she went into cryo sleep of some kind. Or maybe she just died outside and this just happens to be coincidentally the same environmental suit that she was wearing to withstand them deadly gases outside and the atmosphere that was inhospitable for plant life, you know, and animal life. Also, something I did not say yesterday about, like, Elizabeth Sobek in the story that was presented yesterday, she died of such, like vain or vanity causes. It's so insane. Like, what? The facility door was open, like, 8 millimeters wider than normal because of some mechanical malfunction or somebody maliciously, like, intentionally not allowing the Gaia Prime to, like, lock the door properly, you know? And that's the reason as to why the swarm would be able to notice them inside because of the energy levers that they are able to read from inside the facility, you know? That is such a fucking... It's such a disappointing reason for an important character like that to die, you know? So I was thinking, maybe the reason as to why that happened in the first place is because Ted Farrow actually intentionally left the door of the facility open because of his hacking or like some override mechanic that he used to take care of, to override some of the mechanical functions of the facility. And that is the reason as to why the door was accidentally left open like some millimeters more than normal. Is because Ted Farrow himself wanted to have a very sly and cunning reason as to why Gaia Prime facility gets destroyed by the swarm and all of the alpha candidates, including Elizabeth Sobek, died inside the facility. So maybe he thought that if he does like some really like sly, some very cunning move, like leaving the door open intentionally by just some millimeters so that the swarm can notice them, maybe the alpha candidates and Elizabeth Sobek would not be able to possibly notice that in time, and they would get attacked by the swarm and die. Maybe he wanted that to happen, because that would be a very... It would be a very, like, secretive way for him to get rid of the... You know, all of the alpha candidates as well as Elizabeth Sobek. You know? Because he was gonna kill them anyway, because he didn't... Like, here's the thing about Ted Farrow that really pissed me off yesterday. That I didn't really say much about it, because I didn't have as much energy or interest anymore at that point. I was quite tilted and tired already. But yeah, I summed it up pretty nicely off stream, actually, when I was watching somebody else play that exact part. And, like, Ted Farrow is, his ambition and greed, and his mere callous ignorance and apathy towards humanity was the reason as to why the swarm, why the glitch happened on the swarm anyway. Greed, ambition, and apathy. Now, what is the reason as to why he twice ruins the possible prospects of a prosperous future for a new generation of humans? What is the reason he does it twice? So first reason, ambition and greed. Second reason is his own pettiness and cowardice. He did not want the next generations to know what had happened in the past. He did not want his name to be tarnished in the history books. So he wanted to erase all the possible data that explained Ted Farrow's and Farrow's own like megacorporations impact on the world that was left for posterity, right? He didn't want that. So it's the characteristics of one man ruined both the current generations on the planet, all of its people, killed everybody, and then it also ruined the prospects of a prosperous future for all of the other generations that came after. Just because of the characteristics of one person. That is unbelievably fucking insane. And it is ridiculously fucking maddening to see something like that. Also, something I was thinking off stream about this game that I have to say now. I guess now that I have the most amount of energy. I think the world building or the premise of this game, from all of the games that I have possibly ever played, I think Horizon has probably the most interesting and rich premise that I have seen in these games that I have played. It takes a very long while for you as well as me to understand this game's premise, its lore, its world building. It is incredibly complex to understand, even if you pay full attention to what the story is and how the background story of the world is told. It takes immense amount of focus because of how it's presented to the player. Like, it is very complicated. Probably from all of the premises that I have heard for a backstory that explains the world where some game takes place in, this is probably the most complex that I have ever experienced. It is very hard to follow with all of the technical vocabulary and scientific research and the sci-fi elements of it. It is ridiculously hard to follow this game. But like, at the same time, it is probably the most authentic feeling premise that I have ever felt in a game. So yeah, I can see as to why people were excited for Forbidden West when that game was coming out, who played this game. I can totally see that. I am also more excited for the sequel of this game, to be honest. I think this game sets a good base, and then they can only go up on the next game. I can't wait to see what kind of improvements they have made to make the game just, you know, more enjoyable to exist in, you know? It's gonna be really exciting to see. But yeah, for the time being, I think I just said everything I wanted to, so